Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's beautiful 6th of January, 2025. Some great news, maybe. I don't know. Episode 328. Trudeau resigns. Oh my God. Is this the end? If so, what now? Well, he said he was going to resign. Ladies and gentlemen, tisk, tisk, tisk. Anyhow, listener review discretion is advised because I will swear, smoke cigarettes, and drink coffee and make fun of our
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. Yes, sir. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthy.
From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast, a Canadian veteran's point of view on political, social, economic issues, and life. Here's Crusty.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 328 of the Crusty Canuck podcast. The end. If so, now what? Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck. Welcome on to another episode of this exciting podcast. I'm just throwing up some files here. I'm getting interrupted here as we speak. Anyway, this podcast is brought to you in part by and supported by the Veterans for Freedom Network. That's right, Veterans for Freedom Stand 2. And coming soon, Veterans for Freedom TV. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck. Thank you. Once again, I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in my last episode. I've got 4,000 plus views because of wonderful people like you. That's right. Give yourselves a round of applause. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much for the outcome and the outcry, and especially a lot of the positive feedback I've been receiving too. And I've also reached out to some Americans out there who want to help me promote this. So I got a meeting with them tomorrow. So I'll keep you guys posted on that as well too. Beard's coming in nice and neat, and I want you guys to answer a couple of questions I'm going to give right away too. I'm going to grow my beard out because it's wintertime. Should I dye it or should I leave it white? Anyway, think about that amongst yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. I do like to dye it once in a while, because, I'm getting older and I accept age and all that good stuff. Okay. But I want you, my wonderful audience, to tell me what you really think about my appearance. Not that I need validation, or am I going to do a version of OnlyFans or anything like that anytime soon. But your opinion counts, and I would like to know it. So should I dye the beard or just leave it alone? Anyhow, carrying on with this episode. That's right. As the title card said, finally the end. So big news, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Trudeau has said he is going to resign once they find a replacement for him. But with doing that, he's also proroguing Parliament. To my American listeners out there, that means he's going to stall. So that means government's still running, but no legislation is going through. In a way, that's a good thing, too, because some of the ridiculous bills they have proposed, some of the ridiculous mandates they've tried to push down the Canadians' throats, Bill C-63, basically a censorship bill. They say it's in the name of protecting children, but we both know that it's about censoring people like me and other podcasters out there who've got something to say about government insufficiency or inefficiency, however you may want to word it. Okay. And the capital gains tax will be stalled, hopefully annihilated. That way the people at the CRA who want to keep pushing, taking more people's money, will have to send their hands and keep them to themselves. Maybe play with themselves. I don't know, but we'll have to see anyway. So is this the end of Justin Trudeau? Well, it's a good start. There's a lot of speculation and everything out there too with Canadians and allies of Canada, my American friends, British friends, German friends, everyone who is not happy with Justin Trudeau. Now, I could go as way as far back as 2015 when he was elected and he said the magical words, sunny ways. What the fuck are sunny ways? There was a lot of hints about his policies and his politics prior to his victory in 2015 against Stephen Harper. Now, I think Harper actually had a chance. It was time for him to go. True enough. He was PM for 9 years. And I think his brand was kind of, spoke for itself. But Justin didn't fare any better. He put us into debt, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to remind you all out there, regardless of how handsome he may think he is, okay? He comes from a lot of money. He comes from a background full of privilege, full of wealth, okay? His father inherited it from his grandfather, okay? Mr. Trudeau, senior, super senior, I don't remember his first name offhand, Pierre's dad, had a chain of gas stations, made a small fortune, made the Trudeau family very, very rich, very wealthy. So every offspring of Pierre Elliott Trudeau has a trust fund and is good to go for life. Now, here comes Justin Trudeau in the name of nepotism, becomes leader of the Liberal cabinet, Liberal Party, I think back in 2013. Okay. And then he wins the election by a landslide in 2015. Now, during his campaign to those years, he would just sit in front of people and talk about things like how he admired China's basic dictatorship and how he admired this and that. And there's a dead giveaway right there. He's also famously known for saying, the budget will balance itself. Now, I have a wallet here, and if I held it up in front of you, will it balance itself because I wish it or I will it? No, you probably think I was pretty stupid if I did that. But then how is it okay for a prime minister to think that way? Hmm? Interesting, eh? Things are in perspective. So we could sit here all day and discuss what he said at this time when he said that time. He knows his brand is failing because his cabinet doesn't like him anymore. And also because his cabinet are holding on for dear life to save whatever face and to save whatever few bucks they can get. Because it can be very, very lucrative to sit in Parliament in Canada. Okay. You have an exceptional paycheck, exceptional perks, and the privileges that goes along with you being a backbencher or a cabinet minister. Okay. Quite the expense account too. Okay. On my campaign there back in 2021, I promoted the fact that, let's cut some pay. Let's cut some pay. Let's cut the cream to save the milk. Okay. Now, is Justin cutting the cream? We've heard him cut the cheese enough fucking times with his verbal diarrhea and his what ifs and his so-called philosophy ideas, which are basically bullshit. Right. But in the big picture, what do these guys deserve when it comes to scurrying and scrambling and all the rats leaving the ship?
Absolutely nothing.
Exactly, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly. Just a reminder, too, if you like and hear what you see, click like, subscribe, share this content all over your social media platforms, too. Thank you very much to my subscribers, my newer subscribers, and the people that viewed on my last episode. Thank you very, very much. You guys are amazing. I am very, very appreciative. Thank you all, too. Thank you to my friend Paul in Ontario, who committed to helping me make some title cards. Thank you, Paul. Check out his channel, Radio Reaction, too. Quite the informative lad. He's an expat from Britain. He loves being a Canadian, loves his British heritage, but he loves living in Canada, too. And I met him and his wife this past summer, and just a great couple, just all around decent human beings. So check out his channel, too, if you can. Radio Reaction, ladies and gentlemen. Hell of a guy, ex-British Air Force. So he understands the military lingo, understands life as we see it, and we both think kind of the same when it comes to Canadian politics, Anyhow, so Justin has stepped down. He has resigned. He will resign, but put Parliament on hold so he can get his head together, get his thoughts together, whatever you want to say. Basically, he knows he's lost. And like every other goddamn crony out there, every other goddamn shitty politician that has come and gone the past 10 years, they still refuse to take ownership of their crap. Well, glory is just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, and humility will be glorious within itself.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And you're back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you like and hear what you see. Click like, subscribe, share this content all over your social media platforms too. Do not be shy. And a reminder, I will be going live tomorrow night, January 7th, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's right. I will do a live Q&A. I'll take all your questions too. I'll be on YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook. So don't be shy. Pass this around if you can. That's tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, January 7th, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I will be live to take all your questions. I should be on for about a good hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on how many questions I'm asked and what I can do. And if you feel like donating, please consider donating there as well, ladies and gentlemen. And we're carrying out this episode. Of course, is this the end of Justin Trudeau? Who knows? It looks like the end. the final stairway to heaven, the final swan song, I guess you can say, of the exuberant and ever so wonderful JT, little potato. I'm not impressed with him at all. Canada hasn't impressed them for a very, very long time. And I wonder what the CBC is going to do when they're not going to make as much money as they were before, living off the taxpayer purse, as well as other subsidies that have been going to the likes of CTV and Global as well, too. Not to mention some of the old newsprint media out there that received a good handouts from the federal government over the past, let's say 9 years, eh? No more of that fucking gravy train, I tell you. Hey, what are you going to do now? I guess you're going to have to get some legitimate reporters out there to actually report on the news properly, actually sit and have conversations with people rather than speculate, eh? One lesson we can take from this, ladies and gentlemen, is that because he is stepping down, he realizes people don't like me anymore. Well, putz, a lot of people didn't like you to begin with because you rode the coattails of your old man's glory. Now, I had a bit of an exchange with somebody there yesterday in regards to Pierre Trudeau's stance. Okay. And it sums it up is that any prime minister that takes it upon him or herself to put a country into debt and to put people in the poorhouse is not a very good fucking leader. And it doesn't matter where you sit in Canada. It doesn't matter if you sit in the conservative side, liberal side, NDP side, or Les Blocs Québécois, whatever, or if you're independent. To my American friends, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter if you sit in the Democratic side of the fence or the Republican side of the fence. Any elected official, it takes upon him or herself to break the bank, okay, to make you go poor, to make your lifestyle change, to increase your cost of living, does not deserve any bloody respect. Now, I can pinpoint some things that Pierre did that was kind of cool. Okay. He didn't stand up to speak English, Crusty. He did stand up to certain Reagan policies. Okay. Not that I really cared at the time. I was just a wee lad. But in the same sense, he impressed a lot of Canadians. But he also held on for dear life to power and his whole great emotional walk in the snow. This is Justin's time to walk in the snow. He's got a good couple of months to do it because Parliament is prorogued until March 24th, which means that there will be a throne speech from the Governor General, which I think should be elected, not appointed. Exactement. And everybody who has been selected to represent the Trudeau brand, okay, is going to get their peepees slapped or get their faces slapped. There's going to be a great humbling coming out of this. So we'll have to pay attention for the next couple of months to see exactly what's going to happen to the likes of these moochers, the likes of these greedy individuals. Now, Jagmeet Singh has made a statement, and I'm not going to put any of his statements up there because the man's full of garbage. Okay, regardless of how he stands or what he says or what he talks about, he is full of garbage. Okay, the NDP, the federal party of the NDP, does not have a pot to piss in. They're going broke. They don't have the money to advertise, to campaign. If they had any honor, they would have voted non-confidence with Pierre the first couple of times. Okay, and Les Blocs, the same thing with Yves Blanchette. What are you doing, man? You should have voted non-confidence the first time. But whatever. You want to hold on to glory? You want to hold on to this? I'd like to remind Mr. Yves Blanchette, too, you're getting $13.6 billion from Alberta's dirty oil for next year and for 2026. So think about that, les separatistes. Think about that, pal. Okay? And, I think things will be changing for the good, ladies and gentlemen. I think there is going to be light out of this manufactured darkness. Right back after this.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And you're back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 328 of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Is this the end? The end? If so, what now? So I guess we'll have to sit on our hands and hurry up and wait, ladies and gentlemen. That's usually the sign of our times. always hurrying up and waiting. Oh my God. On the bus, off the bus, on the bus, off the bus. La, la, la. What's Justin going to do? Now, what annoys me the most is how Parliament is prorogued for 2 months. That means 2 months of nothing getting fucking done. Must be nice to get a great salary of $200,000 and to do nothing. Just sit around and wait for glory and, all this stuff and just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. But see, a good thing is that come April 1st, there's supposed to be more taxes added onto our gasoline, our home heating, right? More carbon tax. And I think there's also some kind of update when it comes to income taxes too. So that's not very good for you and I, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now, I would have played the whole speech that Justin gave this morning. I didn't want to because I can't stand the sight of the man and I can't stand the voice of the man anymore, because everything that he has done and has said has gone in one ear, out the other, and out of our wallets, ladies and gentlemen. But I will play Pierre Poilievre's response to his resignation. And I want you, my wonderful audience out there, to decide exactly what's the next level. What's the next best step for us Canucks, okay? Now, of course, Donald Trump has chimed in and said a tweet about how Canadians want to be the 51st state, how Canadians want this and want that. He's basically just taunting Justin a second time. I shall taunt you a second time, right? But in the same sense, to some of my Canadian listeners out there, this is worth fighting for. This is our chance to rally, to organize, and to fight for this country, okay? Now, I don't think Mr. Trump, President Trump-elect, is really serious about doing that, because taking over a nation takes a lot of paperwork, a lot of tax dollars, and it'll piss a lot of people off. Not to mention the Canadians that have fought for this country, like yours truly. And as much as I value the Americans as an ally, as friends, as trade and commerce, as an exchange of ideas and how we can run both of our democracies efficiently, sufficiently, and as honestly as possible, I don't want to be an American, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not trying to insult my American friends out there, but I like being a Canadian. I like being a Canuck. I like being the Crusty Canuck. Why? Well, I was born here. Why? Because I like it here. Why? Because I fought for this country. And I'm going to keep fighting for it, ladies and gentlemen. And I suggest my Canadian listeners do the same, right? To stand up for something. We stand on guard for thee, and all thy sons command. Not in all of us we command, in all thy sons command, because those men sacrificed when they didn't have to. It's part of our history, ladies and gentlemen. And I suggest that we look at our history for what it is. History. We can't fix it. We can't change it. We can't censor anymore. We have to grab life by the balls and accept what has happened and move forward. I'm not saying move on. There are some wounds in our history that we can't forget, and that's understandable. But in the same sense, we're not responsible for what happened in the 1700s, nor the 1800s, or the early 1900s. We are responsible for what's now to move ahead, and we shall do it, and we should do it. Anyhow, I'm going to play that video from Pierre Poilievre. Basically, nothing has changed, but it's kind of a heartfelt suggestion, kind of a heartfelt plea, if you want to say so. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to decide. In regards to if you like Pierre Poilievre or not, he makes some valid points throughout this little video of his. So like I say, ladies and gentlemen, you decide. And be open-minded, and be fair. And, go from there.
Canadians desperate to turn the page on this dark chapter in our history might be relieved today that Justin Trudeau is finally leaving. But what has really changed? Every Liberal MP in power today and every potential Liberal leadership contender fighting for the top job helped Justin Trudeau break the country over the last 9 years. All Liberal politicians actively worked to pass into law the job-killing inflationary carbon tax, a tax that Carbon Tax Carney endorsed in his book. All supported a law quadrupling the tax over the next 5 years. All voted for or actively supported Trudeau's out-of-control spending, debt, and immigration. All passed Trudeau's housing policies that doubled the cost of homes. All Liberal politicians helped pass catch-and-release bail and house arrest for the most rampant reoffenders. Policies that increased violent crime 50%, gun crime 116%, and hate crime by 250%. So given that Liberal MPs and leadership contenders unanimously supported everything Trudeau has done, why dump him now, right before an election? Have they had a change of heart? Is it because they feel guilty that they doubled housing costs, hiked taxes, unleashed crime, broke immigration, forced a quarter of the population into poverty? No. They continued supporting Trudeau when he did all of those things. No, their only objection is that he is no longer popular enough to win an election and keep them in power. They want to protect their pensions and paycheck by sweeping their hated leader under the rug months before an election to trick you and then do it all over again. Now, while leaderless Liberals focus on saving their jobs and fighting each other for power, the country spirals out of control, an out-of-control housing emergency, an out-of-control migrant crisis, an out-of-control $62 billion deficit, not to mention tariff threats from the United States. Oh, and another NDP Liberal carbon tax hike kicks in this April 1st. Everything's out of control, and now the government is out of control. This cannot go on. We need a carbon tax election now to choose between the NDP Liberal costly coalition that taxes your food, punishes your work, doubles your housing costs, and unleashes crime and drugs in your community, or common sense Conservatives who will axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. Canadians can take back control of their lives and their country, take back control of our border, take back control of immigration, take back control of spending, deficits, and inflation. Take back control of our streets by locking up criminals, banning drugs, treating addiction, and stopping gun smugglers. We'll cap spending, axe taxes, reward work, build homes, uphold family, stop crime, secure borders, rearm our forces, restore our freedom, and put Canada first. All with one mission: to bring home Canada's promise that every hardworking Canadian gets a powerful paycheck and pension that buys affordable food and homes on safe streets where all are united for the country we know and love. Canada first, Canada last, Canada always. Let's bring it home. Good day.
Yeah, that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Stop the crime, axe the tax, all that good stuff. Okay. And you know, it's a good slogan. You know, how has the carbon tax helped the environment in this country? How has any additional taxes brought us into prosperity? Okay. Now, if I had to sit down and talk with Mr. Poilievre, I would say cut from the top. Okay. Too many admins, too many bureaucrats. Okay. Let's take a look at our armed forces. How many generals are sitting there high on the horse that have had 30 plus years in? Interesting. You know, how many of these generals and bureaucrats, civilians that work for the military, have sit around for 25 to 30 years and collected some good paychecks for minimal work? That's a start there too. I would say get rid of the procurement boards. I would say put people in place that actually have a solid background when it comes to military equipment, when it comes to firefighting equipment, when it comes to planes to fight the forest fires, because the thieving cabal with climate change, right? So there's something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. Cut from the top, right? Now, the foundation of the Liberal Party has crumbled, starting to crack. Okay. Have you ever seen a foundation in a house that's cracked and it needs anywhere from 10 grand to 15 grand in repairs? I think you know what I mean. Okay. So the Liberal brand has cracked. They're not the Liberals that we grew up with. Okay. They're not John Turners. They're definitely not Jean Chrétiens. And they're definitely not fucking Paul Martins, even though Chrétien and Martin were at each other's throats, even though they were both as corrupt as a dirty fart. All right. But they're not the same brand. Okay. Let's take a look what this country needs. We have to start voting with our heads and leave our hearts with our families and our country. And like I've said in numerous episodes too, not the person, not the party, but the constituents and the country. Okay. So let's not worry about the party whips. Let's not worry about what a loyalty to a party is. Let's start worrying about loyalty to Canadians. Can we do that? Can we worry about loyalty to this country? Can we worry about loyalty to our family and friends in the name of this parliamentary democracy? Something we all fought for. I know I fought for it. My grandparents fought for it. I don't know how many times I have encountered people and engaged people online with some of the stupid shit they have said about collectivism and socialism, and yet they would all of a sudden brag about what their grandparents did in World War II or Korea. Why do you think your grandparents fought? What were they fighting for? For a paycheck? Well, they come out of a depression. A lot of people needed a paycheck, but there was also a great evil going around the world at that time, and it had to be stopped. And a lot of men and women stepped up and volunteered to fight the good fight. How do you think they would feel now with some of these collectivist assholes walking around with their statements, waving these flags and those flags while pissing on ours? The flag's behind me. It's history. The Union Jack. I like the UK. Sorry, but not sorry. The old red ensign that's behind there too. And of course, the beloved red and white, the maple leaf. The one that's on my toque here. Right? That's worth fighting for. You look at your loved one, your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. They're worth fighting for. Your kids are worth fighting for. Your pets, your livestock, your land, your way of life, your well-being is worth fighting for, regardless of color or creed, regardless of gender or how you identify. It's all worth fighting for in this land. Our home and native land, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll stand up next to anybody. I'll stand alongside with First Nations. I'll stand alongside with Chinese Canadians, Asian Canadians, white Canadians, black Canadians, pink, purple Canadians, all Canadians. I will stand side by side to fight for this democracy till my last fucking breath. What say you? So, in light of Justin Trudeau, who will resign once they find an effective leader and, someone who's going to take over for him promptly. I don't care who it is because I don't trust any of them as far as I can throw them. They've all failed one way or the other, ladies and gentlemen. They've all let us down with their lies and their misconceptions and their misinformation and disinformation, of course, the big trendy buzzwords, and the first ones to wag their finger about misogyny and xenophobia and transphobia, phobia this, phobia that, phobia out of our asses. Enough. The shift is coming. Okay. The first rumble has hit the surface. And the shift is coming, ladies and gentlemen, and it will be glorious, my friends. Glorious, glorious. But in the meantime, we just keep carrying on, keep persevering, keep setting the better example, keep calling our MPs, harass them. I mean, politely, of course. I'm not saying intentionally go out and hurt them. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. And challenge someone who laughs at the Freedom Convoy. Challenge someone who has demanded the vaccinations and the masking. Challenge them, talk, get the dialogue going, keep it open, ladies and gentlemen. Don't use violence unless you're defending yourself or it's the utmost last resort. Okay? It's that simple. When people say, oh, it wasn't a real Freedom Convoy, well, then ask them this. Did you want to see blood in the streets? Did you want to see burnings? You want to see damaged property? You wanted to see people flee for their lives because their business is on fire, their apartment's on fire. Is that what you want to see? Or do you want to see a unilateral message waving the old maple leaf saying, yes, I love it here, but we've had enough of you. Start changing some things. And we've all seen how JT and his party reacted to it. Miss Freeland was laughing about taking people's money. And Justin trying to sound professional and very kept when it comes to saving the people and in the name of safety. When we all know they're all trying to save fucking face. And now they are failing. And it is glorious, ladies and gentlemen. Anyhow, I've been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 6th of January, 2025, ladies and gentlemen. Just a reminder, too, I'm doing a live episode tomorrow evening, right? Tune into that. Live with Crusty Canuck, a Q&A. I will be on YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook. So check out my community page for an updates on that, and my Facebook page as well for updates as well. So 6 o'clock tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, Mountain Standard Time. Yours truly will be on live. So please tune in to that. Ask me all your questions. Keep them clean and civil, right? And I'll answer to the best of my ability. If you feel like donating, please donate there or donate on my links in my description there too. I will put the Poilievre video in my description as well, ladies and gentlemen, for you to watch and enjoy at your leisure. And please keep those thumbs up and those comments coming too. And thank you once again to everybody who tuned in to my other episode and give me 4,000 plus views. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart and the top of my soul. Thank you very much. You guys are amazing and wonderful. So keep that spirit up, ladies and gentlemen. Help us Canucks get our words out there. And do what you can these trying times. And look after your friends, loved ones. Help a neighbor out. The weather's not so bad in this area right now. So, still keep wits about you. Keep your trucks and vehicles plugged in just in case we might get a cold snap. To my American listeners, too, who live in the northern states. Same for you guys because you get the same weather as we do. We're not a tundra wasteland. Anyhow, I've been Crusty Canuck, and I hope the best for you. And I'll see you all tomorrow night. Okay? And like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, humanity and merit wins the day. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. Yes, sir. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
This has been another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Stay sane and thank you for listening. From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast.
Well, smack my ass and call me Judy.